My name's Trudi Tapscott, and I was born in California, raised as a California girl, and moved to New York very young. Went to college and studied fashion merchandising, and decided that I really wanted to work in fashion. I didn't really dream about being a model agent. I didn't know as much about that until I started working a little bit in fashion. And then I decided I wanted to move to New York, and I moved to New York. I didn't know anyone. I didn't have a job. Just kind of came cold and figured it would all work out. And it all worked out. My first job was like the assistant at Elite, and I opened the mail and I did the open interviews, and I stayed there for 7 years, and I eventually was the director of the New Faces division. I did all the United States scouting, oversaw a staff of 4 or 5 scouts and people. We had a huge contest at that time that started out as the look of the year, and originally found models like Seymour and Cindy Crawford, and that was an international contest, and that's where I really learned so much about what it really took to be a model. And then I was lucky enough to work at Vogue magazine as the model editor, and probably the best working experience in so many ways, because I learned more on the high-end level of fashion, and what an editor and a top photographer really look for, and what they really need in a model, and what that takes. And working for Anna Wintour was an incredible experience. I wouldn't trade that. It was one of the hardest jobs I've ever had, and one of the best jobs I've ever had. And then I decided to start my own scouting company, and that's what I've been doing up until now. The best part about being in our world right now is that through Twitter and all social media, you can reach out to anybody. If you find the person that you want to talk to, somebody you want to learn from, somebody you want to work with, somebody you want to ask a question, it couldn't be easier. Nothing is really a mystery. If I say something that's interesting to you, or you want to work with me, you can find me. You can go to TrudyTapscottModelManagement.com. You can find me on Twitter. You can find me on Tumblr. You can find me on Facebook, just about anywhere. Nobody comes and plucks you out of the middle of nowhere and makes it all happen for you. So the most important thing is that if you obviously can't go from hometown to New York City, so you need somebody in between to help manage all the questions and all the things that you need in the process. But I'm not going to necessarily have the opportunity to go and visit you in your high school. So if this is something that you think that you can do, you're the one that has to instigate the effort. You're the one that has to investigate. You're the one that has to try. You need to reach out to somebody and send your pictures and say, can I do this? And that's how people find someone like me. If you've got what it takes, I'll tell you. And if you shouldn't pursue it, I'll tell you.